Okay, hey guys, Paul here with a short talk I'm putting together in a little bit of short notice. In a rather bizarre turn of events, my website, AVFM, and I have been tagged as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. What's that, you say? You thought they already did that years ago? Well, yes and no. Let's go through what actually happened. Back in March of 2012, Arthur Goldwag, writing for the SPLC blog, penned a piece on what he imagined to be misogynistic websites. It included A Voice for Men and a host of other websites, some no longer around, like Pierce Harlan's False Rape Society, Bill Price's The Spearhead, and Ferdinand Bartamou's In Malafide. Others are still around, like Rushdie's Return of Kings. The article was all that was needed for leftist feminists to churn out the false rumor that the SPLC had designated these sites as hate groups. Despite the fact that the SPLC later issued a clarification stating that none of the groups were considered hate groups, the false narrative continued with the help of propagandists like David Futrell. Interestingly, filmmaker Cassie Jaye dug into the urban myth in making the Red Pill movie, and she contacted Mark Potok, then a senior fellow for the SPLC and director of that organization's intelligence project. Potok said that the blog post was not representative of the SPLC position and that AVFM was never named as a hate group. According to Jaye's records of that exchange, linked, Potok said that AVFM did not fit the SPLC criteria for a hate group because we don't have an official group policy and because we're just blog posts and forums. That, by the way, was accurate then, and it is accurate now. AVFM is a website, nothing more. We've certainly made a pretty damn big impact as just a website, but that doesn't change the fundamentals. AVFM is a personal website, owned and operated by yours truly. And we are actually far less organized now than at the time that Mark Potok said we didn't qualify for organizational reasons. But something has changed at the SPLC apparently, because in the past couple of days they've announced with some fanfare that A Voice for Men and Return of Kings both have been judged by them to be hate groups and have been included on their list alongside the KKK, Stormfront, and other similar organizations. So, there you have it. In a nutshell, this is where things stand. 25 years of speaking out about men's issues and reaching out to men living in blue pill hell, speaking the truth as I see it, has earned me a place in what mainstream sensibilities assumes is the dark underbelly of modern hate. My name forever stained with an allegation that puts me as equivalent to being at home in white sheets saluting like a Nazi. The question for the moment, just as it was in 2012, is simple. What now? What do I do with my work, my writing, my podcasts, my efforts to dispense as many red pills to as many men as I can in my life? What do I do now since all my sincere efforts to help my fellow man are being treated as an offense to all decent sensibilities? And of course, the answers to all this were apparent to me before I ever finished typing the questions. What do I do now? Well, I buckle down and work harder. I take the SPLC manufactured crap about who I am and what AVFM is about, and I treat it like what it is. Bullying. The SPLC is trying to scare me into silence. Indeed, they're trying to scare all of us into silence. Mark Potok, absolute scumbag that he is, knows full well that left-wing wackos out there have used his material to target people for violent retribution. Oh, and by the way, for those interested and not already in the know, the SPLC is as corrupt financially as it is ideologically. I could go into an exhaustive diatribe about that right now, but I'll spare you. Instead, you can put SPLC corruption into any search engine and start in. Pro tip, though, make a large pot of coffee first. You have an ungodly amount of reading to do. Anyway, as I was saying, the SPLC is trying to bully me into silence, and I'm thinking, fuck that and fuck them. My audience tells me everything I need to know about my work. So do my haters. Anyway, I dice it up and look at it from whatever angle, I'm doing the right thing. SPLC, my ass. So if any of you have already heard about the SPLC's hateful attack on my work and was wondering what it meant for the future, just stay tuned to this channel and to A Voice for Men. In the days ahead, as I continue to do the work I've always done, I will remind you from time to time that I consider being labeled a one-man hate group by the SPLC one of the greatest honors of my life. If I have managed to make that group of leftist con artists and shysters stand up and take notice, I must be doing something right. I will, however, take this moment to remind you that what I do does not come easy. And it has a cost, even more than just time and dollars. I'm going to keep doing what I do as long as I possibly can, but I really do appreciate and need help from those who can afford it. In the description area below, you'll find a variety of options, including my Patreon page, and links for one-time and recurring donations. Please use one of those options that works for you, and remember, there's no such thing as a small donation. All of them help, every last one. I ask you about this now because the current SPLC stunt is not the last of this struggle. These people are terrified of what you're hearing here, and censorship is getting worse all the time. That's it for this short talk. I will be back with more later. Thanks in advance to all who chip in, and thank you a million to those of you who already do.